What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. Yesterday, the Russo brothers hit us with the fourth Avengers Doomsday trailer online, and they specifically stated with this one, what you have been watching for the last 4 weeks are not teasers or trailers. They are stories. They are clues. Pay attention. And of course, the internet has gone into a spiral trying to figure out what these are. And it looks like everybody's done a pretty dang good job, and we've narrowed it down to probably 3 main things that this could be. Now, of course, I'll also say what I said yesterday. This could also just be the Russo brothers trying to get us to talk about all of this, to hype it up, to be talking about Avengers Doomsday, and it might simply just be exactly what we think it is. It's a bunch of stories talking about Doom, which we already know is going to happen. But these theories about what it could be, these 3 things we're going to talk about today, I really do like, and I think you're all going to like it as well. You'll have to let me know. Let's dive into the very first one. Now, I'm going to briefly go over this one, because if you caught our video yesterday, we talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to add a little bit more to it today. The first one is about the themes of each trailer. So the first theory is that the specific themes are telling us something very specific of the 4 trailers. The first one is, like I mentioned before, the first one is about life. It's the Steve Rogers trailer. We're talking about life. He has a son. He is starting basically a new beginning for someone. So life, new beginning, the theme of the first one. The second one is about love. Thor and his daughter, who is named Love, but also his prayer because he loves his daughter. The next one, the X-Men one, talks about death. That's what Magneto talks about, and it does seem like probably somebody has died and has been edited out of that trailer. That's why Cyclops is taking off his visor, shooting those optic blasts in the air because he's mad somebody died. The last one specifically talks about the afterlife, so that's what it could be about. Life, love, death, the afterlife. But it also could be about hope, fear, grief, and acceptance. Those could be those 4 trailers as well. I like both versions of this, and I do think those are the themes, and I do think they relate to Doom. If the reports that we have been hearing about Dr. Doom in his past are true, he had a family, and he lost them. And he's probably seeking revenge, trying to get people to kind of feel the pain that he's felt. So he's gone through the beginning, the life. He's gone through the love with a wife and with a child. He's gone through the death of them, and now he is making his own afterlife, basically shaping the universe to exactly how he wants it to be. So that's the first one. The second one, I really like this one. People, of course, have been obsessing over the countdown clock, but specifically the glitches in that countdown clock. They all are different, seemingly giving us different clues, different codes, or as a lot of people think, timestamps. And I actually really like this. And if we actually go to the timestamps in Avengers Endgame, we can find some very specific scenes. Now, here's the reason that people think these are timestamps for Avengers Endgame. One, the Russo brothers have already come out and said, this movie, Avengers Doomsday, is picking up basically right where Avengers Endgame left off, which one, I think tells us that time is not exactly linear in the MCU. And 2, these timestamps are probably for Endgame, since Doomsday is picking up right where it left off. Also, Avengers Endgame is being re-released in theaters by Marvel Studios not too long before Avengers Doomsday comes out. So, if they're timestamps for any movie, it probably is Avengers Endgame. So what happens when we go to those timestamps in Avengers Endgame? Well, the first one is Steve Rogers, and that glitch tells us 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 20 seconds into Endgame. This is very interesting because this shows us the Ancient One telling Bruce Banner about branch timelines and how they would really just to the T have to return the time stones, or I'm sorry, all of the stones, exactly where they took them in that point in time, which I don't think they did, and I think that's why we're having some problems. But this scene is obviously very important. The Ancient One telling Bruce Banner about branch timelines. Incredibly important. So that makes sense. Hey, pay attention to this part because this is going to come into play in Avengers Doomsday. Remember the important things the Ancient One said? Yeah. What they did has affected not just one timeline, but the entire multiverse. So the next one is the Thor one, and that glitch tells us 1 hour, 17 minutes, 20 seconds. This is very interesting as well, because this shows us where Loki turns into Captain America in Avengers Endgame when they go back in time. But what I really think that this is pointing to is Loki escaping and then being captured by the TVA. This is an incredibly important moment in MCU history because this is basically the start of Loki going to where he is now, essentially becoming the god of stories. So that started off Loki season 1. The TVA took him, he went through everything, and then we got Loki season 2 to where eventually he ended up on the throne, holding all of these branches together. That's obviously an incredibly important part, and it would make sense that the Russo brothers would hint at that specific moment, the beginning of Loki's journey, because this movie is about Doom, but I think it's also really going to be about Loki. He's going to have a huge part to play, obviously. So then the next one, the X-Men, 1 hour, 11 minutes, 20 seconds. This one is very interesting as well. Rocket telling Thor when they go back in time to Asgard to help him get his family back. Now, what I really think this is about is Thor taking Mjolnir from that timeline. Remember, he didn't have Mjolnir in his timeline. It was destroyed by Hela. He took it from that timeline, and Steve Rogers was supposed to return it. Now, we actually don't know if Steve Rogers returned it. We don't know. But him taking Mjolnir from that timeline, I think did cause some repercussions. And yes, you can say, well, if he came back and returned it at the exact point in time, it shouldn't have been a problem. But it seems like, well, one, the kind of guidelines for time travel and multiverse rules have not been fully established yet. There have been times in some series where they have said certain things, and then we'll hear other things that kind of contradict what we've heard. I think the Russo brothers have to really go into this movie and establish what the rules actually are. But regardless, they have clearly showed us that Steve Rogers has done something wrong, and that's why he's getting back in this battle to fight against Doom. So clearly the rules aren't exactly what we thought they were. So I think that Thor taking Mjolnir from this timeline affected this timeline and sent it on a bad trajectory, which could have caused an incursion. I definitely think that could have happened. And that's why they're showing that scene. Now, the last one is kind of interesting. It is 1 hour and 4 minutes and 20 seconds. This is the Wakanda trailer. If we go to that part in Avengers Endgame, it's Rocket asking Ant-Man if he wants to go to space. Now, a lot of people are stumped on this one. There's a lot of theories out there, but I think this might refer to Doom possibly going into space for the very first time, wherever he's from. We don't know where he's from. He could be from the 828 universe. He could have been working with the Fantastic Four. Who knows? But I think this is about him going into space, which probably started off his multiversal journey. That's what I'm thinking for this one. So that's theory number 2, that these are actually timestamps from Avengers Endgame. You let me know what you think about that as we go into theory number 3. Now, the core of this theory, I want to give full credit, is from Yassine That Guy. This is a reel that was sent to me, and I really liked his theory on this. And his theory, and I am going to add my own thoughts to this as well, but his theory is that the countdown is not till the movie comes out, which we know it is a countdown till the movie comes out. But like I said yesterday, there's just no way they're going to leave that countdown clock up for a full year. At least I really don't think so, because it's going to glitch and something's going to happen, right? But his theory is that this is basically a countdown to a point of no return. And I really like this, and I'll explain what it means. So this is basically, he says that this is from a view of Loki. These are stories. Like the Russo brothers said, they are stories, they are clues. Loki right now is essentially the god of stories. And he can see everything. He can see everything happening in the branches that he's attached to. They showed us that at the end of Loki season 2. So he can see everything he's attached to. So Loki is seeing all of these events happening. And right now, while all of the timelines exist and are intact, you could technically go back at some point in time and try to correct things, right? That's kind of what the TVA did, right? Pruning timelines, right? That branched out. And they're kind of doing it now, making sure the multiverse is allowed to exist without the timelines kind of running into each other. And they have been eliminating KANGS. But now, his theory is that once you get to a certain point in time, which is what the timer is counting down to, that's a point of no return. There's no turning back after that. And I actually like that because it aligns with what Kang taught us. And it's like timekeepers and Kang, they're the same thing, right? It's the fake lore that Kang made up, right, for people to believe. But essentially, they told us that at the end of time, the Citadel at the end of time, Kang was still writing the timeline. So there was an end to it. And I believe this is actually the end of time, the destruction of the entire multiverse, where time is no longer a thing. I've actually been thinking about this a lot, and we've been talking about it on my CVA podcast. You should check it out if you haven't. There probably gets to a point where when the multiverse is destroyed, if there are no timelines, if there are no branches, if there are no universes, time travel is kind of impossible. So you can't go back or forward and undo anything. That would be the point of no return, where there is no time to be able to use, to be able to change anything, right? And there's no multiversal travel because there's just the void, or there's just one universe left. Time and multiversal rules would go out the window. And that would probably be the point of no return. And that would be Doomsday. That would be Doom winning, becoming God Emperor Doom, ruling over Battleworld, one thing, where you can't go back in time anymore. You can't travel to different universes anymore because they don't exist. Time doesn't exist. The only thing that would be real is kind of the absence of time and space, the void, right? And that's what Cassandra Nova said in Deadpool and Wolverine. She was going to destroy every single universe until nothing was left but the void. So I think that is probably something we are just going to get to in Avengers Doomsday no matter what. The end is the destruction of literally everything. And the only thing is left is the void that exists outside of space and time. And that would be a point of no return. Everything would cease to exist. And Loki could not do anything. While he's attached to everything, he can guide people and he can say, hey, this happened. We have to undo this, or we got to try to do this to force it this way. And this could change some events, maybe, depending on the rules they establish. But once we get to this point, everything is destroyed and we can no longer do anything. And if we don't stop Doom until then, he wins. And there's no going back. I like this theory a lot. And I kind of think what is happening is a combination of all three. I think all three could actually be correct. But you'll have to let me know your thoughts. These are the ones that I found the most interesting. That made the most sense. I still kind of think those glitches, those codes, those timestamps, I still kind of think that maybe they were just doing it for effects for the trailer, and maybe they don't actually mean that much, because the Russos have kind of done things like this in the past, cryptic messages that, you know, they're trying to tease us with that don't really come out to anything. I hope that's not the case. I hope they do mean something, but I'm just not putting it past the Russos to just be trying to get us to talk about everything, which is clearly working because this is all anybody is talking about right now. But I do like these three theories. I think all three actually are going to happen in the movie, or at least parts of them will be talked about in the movie. But go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Avengers Doomsday news. And also, you can find us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.